Hello, everybody, and welcome to the session number 17 vlog of Mass Effect Revolution. We are still physically here with not only these two, but Astra and Mikhail in the other rooms that are decorated exactly
like room.
their actual
Such
home.
attention to detail. What an artiste.
Yes. And hopefully you guys took a lot of notes for confessionals. Because there's a lot of material.
I'm so shook. I am reverting to French.
I'm shocked. Did you choose this session especially because
genuinely impressed about how
like for the confessional, because you knew there were going to be a lot of these things that we may need to talk in character?
Well, traditionally, the first time we had a confessional was when the Dragon Age Season 2 people were physically here. And so I didn't necessarily plan it this way, other than whenever we had the in-person session, that was when we were going to do the confessionals. So it just so happened that there's just a lot of stuff in this session that allowed for confessionals. So
there was a lot of that.
Wait, I can do like I wanted to do.
She's tickling my beard.
Wait, what?
Kiwi was tickling my beard.
You remember that one gif of a cat that's just
Oh yeah.
Tickle the beard. Tickle it.
So lots of reveals today.
I don't think I think some of us had an idea the gimmick thing was going to happen, but none of us had the idea about the Alex Rider thing.
That's actually the secret that I knew, but Nathan didn't.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. I let her. I just said that Nathan's family left him behind to go to the Andromeda Initiative.
Yeah.
I didn't say they were Alec and Scott and right. I didn't say they were the writers.
Cool.
Nope. That was Hart's intention.
I was like, no, let's do that.
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
Because I was thinking, well, we've got a shepherd, we got to have a rider. So,
Hey.
Shepherd and rider. And we have a shadow broker.
Kind of.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I wonder what we'll discover about Dia.
Hmm?
I wonder what we'll discover about Dia next.
D is actually
Well,
Garrus's kid.
That's actually Garrus's kid.
Yeah.
That would be funny though. It's
And
so
that one
different.
girl he met in the bar and said, "Oh, if you're a male shepherd or you're not romancing him as a female, that's actually Dia's
Oh my god.
God." That was incredible. Like, genuinely, I'm shook. Like, I'm knocked off my feet here. Like, I was expecting it to be some kind of, I don't know. I wasn't expecting writers of all things. Like, you gave us Sarah Ryder, and I was like, oh, that's
I
cool.
gave a lot of hints.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, you're giving us Sarah because you had Nakmor, Kesh, and Drac, and you had, I thought, okay, that's a cool little Andromeda tidbit or Easter egg, however you want to look at it. And then you had Sarah Ryder as another Easter egg, and I'm like, oh, there's probably not going to be much more Andromeda stuff because, you've already gone ahead and put in Sarah and Nakmor Drac and Nakmor Kesh, and then you drop the bomb. Congratulations, your daddy's Alec Ryder. And he's currently over there somewhere.
Yeah, he's not here. So I had to, for this universe, I had to adjust the timeline a little bit. So
They left earlier, basically.
No.
well, in this universe, the Alec and Ellen had the twins later in life.
Or they're younger having them, because Alec was already 100 by the time he got to Andromeda.
Right. So technically in the game, Alec and Sarah are actually older than Nathan is. So I readjusted it, at least for the Red universe, to say that they had children, but later on, so that it would match Nathan's age. So Sarah is Nathan's age.
They're twins, obviously.
We're twins, obviously.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing I changed, really. Plus, of course, the whole idea of them leaving their kids behind. because they were so young and
Yeah.
were not old enough to go to
Survive
the
the
initiative.
stasis and all that sort of thing.
Yep.
That was an incredible reveal.
Yeah, it was.
And yeah, we finally, after ever since session 5, I think, we finally know who's the DNA donor for the Fix clan, and it's Commander Shepard.
Yay!
Which, because at some point I was just listing the entire possibilities. Like, could have been Miranda, could have literally been anyone. And
Shadow Joker.
Shadow Joker.
Yeah.
Zaid, actually.
I think
Yeah.
he's the true villain.
Because that would have been a really interesting little thing.
Zaid.
Yes.
Okay,
The old mercenary man.
Yeah, I was that definitely would have been interesting also.
Well,
Yeah, the fact that it's Shepard just, gives a whole new meaning to the fact that Vito was named Shepard. So, man, I just, out of character, I have no idea what to say about that. It was such a great reveal. So was the whole Shadow Broker experience.
All the stuff with gimmick and the Shadow Broker was
Yeah.
very, very good.
Mhm.
And that initial conflict between Dia and everyone else in the party, that was also very intense. I liked
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And there, even though Mech didn't get to do the thing that he
Because
wanted.
I told earlier Kiwi and Astra, I was like, I'm thinking I might want to. Because I messaged to Hark that I want Dia to like down spiral because of it.
Yeah, and I was willing for that.
And I already sent Hark one thing, another message too, and I'm not going to say it, about how I see Dia's journey ending by the end of this campaign.
Oh.
Well, so I'm not sure that. And I was like, when I saw the first 20, I was like, oh well, dump that in the trash.
I mean, she can still don't spiral like with her actions without being infected.
Mhm.
I mean,
The party really likes Dia, so
Yeah.
they
It's
were
the weird, annoying sister Vito never had. And he has like 23 siblings.
Yeah. I mean, Nathan has a sister now, so that's a new thing. He
yeah.
has family, like physical blood family in the same galaxy with him, so that's a new experience for him.
And now he's no longer
yeah.
alone. Okay.
So if Nathan went to her and said, I found out information, can we get a DNA test done to discover if you and I
Yeah.
actually say that could be something that he could do.
You could go
No.
and ask her if
Hey,
she has brothers.
Colin. So turns out the girl you fancy is my sister.
Yeah, the
So
girl
don't
you
you
know.
dare marry her.
So
Also, what's going to happen to Koala and Pip? I worked so hard to put them together.
Well, they didn't
Yeah.
seem to have like that a romantic connection. They just
With the sauna.
well,
it was romantic on Qualin's part, wasn't it? Though Qualin felt he could have went that way, but he didn't because he wanted to be a Justicar instead.
Mhm.
yeah,
That would be really
He made
weird.
his
Qualin
choice.
and her together.
not too late.
It would
I,
have been.
Brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I now do not regret
Right,
going
'cause
into Koalin's journal and reading that Sarah tidbit because that was great.
Yeah,
I'm still-
Colin hallucinating was a great scene too.
wait,
that was
what-
that was really funny.
was
I agree.
Dia the one that read the journal or Vito? I think Dia left it there, and Vito was the one that read it.
No,
yeah,
Dia
that's what
read
happened.
it too.
Dia wanted to but decided not to, and she left the
Yeah.
room. Vito went and walked in and read the thing.
Yeah.
So
Another thing we learned was that like Nathan mother, like the one that took care of him, is actually and all the other people, because till now at least Gimmick had the hope that there was still a chance they were alive, and
they're
They're
alive,
just not here.
just on their way to a new galaxy.
Yeah, we're on the way to Andromeda right now. It would be
Oh.
really great though if like we just decided, you know what, we have the Angaran tech, let's just go to Andromeda and wait for them there.
Just meet them.
Surprise!
Just
So
go to
I'm your
stasis for 200 years.
Yeah.
Just get on stasis.
It's like I'm just over there like, hey, I'm your son. And this is your daughter.
I have no clue how we're gonna handle the Shadow Broker in the next session. I have absolutely no fucking idea.
Yeah, and my idea plan doesn't change. We just bamboozle out of there.
I think that's the idea now. We just run.
Did you see? I sent you a message on Discord. Did you see it, Cart?
I guess.
I like that picture though.
Because
I guess.
well, I was
weird.
I was wondering, and then because I didn't see if you, I didn't know if you saw the message, and then I took another choice. But if that was an option, maybe Gimmick would have chosen to do something different, and maybe that is still an option for another time. I don't know. We can talk about that. But
We can talk about it. I mean,
Yeah.
technically you could, I guess.
okay,
Answer your question.
I like that you were trying to talk Gimmick down and started to talk about being a cool cyborg that went jumping through buildings and such. And that was your way of telling Gimmick, no, you don't have to do this.
It was an important choice. I was
Yeah.
prepared for either choice. I was also prepared for you to. It was going into this. I wasn't sure if you guys were going to go into combat or if you were trying to monetize your way through. Because I was prepared for a big fight. So far, the fight hasn't happened. Although I don't know what's going to happen in the next session.
I feel like we haven't had any fight.
We haven't. Next session is our first fight.
Back in session 12.
Yeah, I've been prepared.
Yeah.
I've been prepared, but you guys are like, no, we'll talk our way through this.
Let's talk.
Well, everyone was saying,
To be really honest, had things not gone the way they did with the information exchange, Vito would have shot.
Vito shot first.
Vito would have shot first.
Yeah.
So Vito would have done
the
what
thing
Dia
is-
did with Lun.
Yeah.
the Shadow Broker asked us to not touch anything, and Nathan touched something like the computer and took some information.
Just me doing it.
And we're just gonna bamboozle. Oh my god, I love
Yeah.
that word.
And also, we are kind of lying to the Shadow Broker, so yeah, there is
Yeah,
still
you think that's
chances.
pure. I don't know.
Well,
if
we're
that's-
not lying. We have the cure. We just don't have it on us.
Mhm.
That's why at first I was like,
Lying
we
by
can go
omission.
back and get
Well, it's not lying by
the
omission.
cure, and then
Yeah.
come back. And then you guys are like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, shit. Then let's track that.
What happened with Liara? Did
We
she
don't know. I don't think Liara probably never became a Shadow
The
Broker.
former Shadow Broker was Glyph.
Yeah.
Glyph was already the
Right.
Assistant.
was already the assistant to the Yag dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Actually, we never got a name for him, so it's
Yeah.
just a Yag.
Just the Shadow Broker, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the glyph was already there.
Okay, so something happened to the Yag, and Glyph became Shadow Broker.
Is it possible that Liara just said, Glyph, you can just take over after the Reaper War and decided to just retire to a nice sunny place somewhere? That's possible, isn't
That's
it?
also possible.
She went
That
back to
would be
being
very lovely for her.
expert or something.
Protean archaeologist.
Yes.
Well, for what we know, this Shadow Broker, like the real Gimmick, not Gimmick,
Yes,
Shadow Broker.
the real gimmick. You're the fake gimmick.
Yeah, that was definitely like ever since the green session, I was hoping we would get to know what the whole thing was about, the fact that there was 2 gimmick, and now we find out that there are 3.
There's the
Sorry.
one that Elias brought to green. There's the one that
Well-
we playing the game with, and then there's the Shadow Broker. So there's
That's
actually
what we
2 copies.
know.
Yeah.
There could be more.
Yeah. I mean, for all we
Like-
know, the Shadow Broker actually might not even be the original. It might be a copy of the one that went to green.
Well, could it
True.
be that
It's a copy
Elias?
that it's
Yeah.
the original.
Oh, no.
No, it's not the original because it can't find anything wrong. Much like our Gimmick probably couldn't find anything wrong with himself.
One of the things that was said at one point was that Gimmick technology was ahead of its time, like it wasn't possible for him to exist on that time. So I thought that maybe something there will happen, but I don't know. Like, because like the Gimmick was completely created from zero, or maybe they used some code from someone else or something else, or
Mhm.
that was one of the things that I was thinking. But yeah, at first I was like, oh well, maybe it's one of the AIs that we met before, and also they established that AIs well, how did Glyph survive the red explosion, for example?
Glyph's not a AI.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a VI.
Well,
It's a VI.
gimmick in that case then. Well, that gimmick was also inactive during the red explosion, wasn't it?
Gimmick was inactive.
Yeah, both gimmicks were inactive.
How
Both
was-
gimmicks were inactive, so they were not affected by the explosion.
Yeah, because they were
So-
both woken up after the
Yeah.
Reaper War.
Glyph woke up gimmick, is that what I'm getting?
Glyph woke up gimmick,
Yeah,
oh,
but Glyph was still a VI,
at the time, yeah.
so he didn't have the breadth of sophistication, sentient sophistication that a VI had. So Glyph believed that it would make a lot of sense to
Yeah.
merge itself with an AI so that it would evolve, and it has.
Mhm.
I still
It's
think
nowadays.
there is a catch.
That we have with us here.
Right, which the offer's still on the table, gimmick, for you to
I mean, if you think about it,
merge.
you got 2 weeks to think about
You
it
know,
now.
one
yeah,
thing
2 weeks to think
Yeah.
about it.
One thing
I
thinking about
I will-
Vito
yeah.
saying about that was, you know, in that case, it's a copy made from the original. You don't staple back a leaf that's fallen from a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just let it go and live its own life. So
The thing is, I was thinking, I was like, okay, so I will call all the people that are with me, and maybe because I was completely sure that I was going to say yes, because it seemed like a win-win, that there wasn't nothing bad. So I was like, oh, okay, so people will talk with this AI and maybe get something to make me change my opinion. And no one said anything until, well, Pip said that, and they were like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense.
Right.
And yeah,
If you brought anyone else, I don't know if anyone else would have had a similar opinion, but the fact
Yeah.
you brought Pip with you, I thought realistically Pip would say this. But if it was the jury, I don't think she would have an opinion. Stan might have had villain vibes. So
Yeah.
might have been like, I don't think that's a good idea.
but then again, isn't that a little what the whole collector / Prothean thing
Mhm.
is? It's just that they're slowly turning back collectors into
Mhm.
the Prothean they used to be, but with the
Mhm.
memories they're gonna have, back, they're definitely not going to be the same person they were before.
Mhm.
So
I mean,
Sure.
Nathan preached the exact same thing that he said to Stan when they were at Vito's place for dinner. Look, if you want to go ahead and do it, just do it, but know that you won't be yourself anymore. You won't be Stan, which is the exact same thing he said to Gimmick. If you do it, I'll back you up, but you won't be Gimmick anymore after it's all said and done.
Oh, also, Vito gave the Shadow Broker information about the Pokemon gods, and now the Pokemon crew is like, where are you, Vito? We are going to pummel you to the ground.
yeah, I think in a couple of years, Nora's just gonna. What are you doing?
I mean, the Shadow
Why
Broker,
would you give such dangerous information to a potential antagonist in another campaign?
didn't you learn what happened to
Vito? In Vito's defense, he's fairly sure that world traveling is extremely rare.
Yeah.
Like as far as he's.
How did we got
concerned.
there in the first place?
Well,
Through the computer?
Yeah.
well, considering how in these campaigns, it's a tradition to always dimension hop. It's apparently more common than you think.
I mean, I've already thought about the crossover we're going to have in the next campaign. I'm giving nobody anything. Nobody's getting any presents from Nathan. Maybe like a nice, souvenir, but nothing that could actually.
You don't want the
dangerous.
nice wand.
No, thanks. Because Nathan's already like, I can do magic. I'm biotic, and I don't need a wand to do it.
I still,
Going to be interesting though.
Yeah.
Like the view about biotics
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
by wizard
Wizardry or
wizardry
muggles
people.
even, because I'm assuming there's going to be people who volunteer who are just muggles or squibs
Yeah.
or whatever. They just don't
Yeah,
know
that's true.
anything. And they're like,
Well,
how can you
squibs
just
do know, they just can't.
Yeah, like
so.
that would be the most interesting one, I think. A squib who just looks at someone like, you can innately do that. That's just something you can do. That would be really weird I think that'd be interesting for a squib to talk about. But anyway.
This is turning into Hot Mess the campaign.
So one question I have: had you fought the Shadow Broker? Not that opportunity is past yet.
Mhm.
Had you fought the Shadow Broker and defeated the Shadow Broker?
Oh, yeah.
What would happen to the Shadow, like the entity, the Shadow Broker? Because you will
Gimmick
probably...
and Astra and I actually had thoughts about that. Because, funnily enough, Astra was saying that Gimmick would be interested in being the Shadow Broker, or at least having all of that information. So, like, knowing that he was the Shadow Broker is
not
kind
too
of
late,
funny.
Gimmick. You can be the Shadow Broker.
Yeah,
Urge.
You have to become one with us.
You can become the Shadow Broker.
But yeah,
Well,
we were joking about the fact that Vito, like, with all of that information, he would not have been able to look away. Probably had he had the opportunity to be like
would
the
have it
person behind the screen. All of that information, at the tips of your fingers. And yeah, we were basically joking about Gimmick and Vito just running to the console, the first one there.
Because the console says when the Shadow Broker died, it says something like, "Who is the new Shadow Broker?" or something like that.
If it was Nathan, like if Nathan was solely asked, "Do you want to do it?" He'd look at it like it's the Iron Throne and just walk away. He wouldn't. It couldn't be something. I don't think Nathan could handle it, not emotionally or physically. I just think he would be like, "I'm not cut out to be the Shadow Broker." He's not ruthless enough, I don't think, to be the Shadow Broker. At least not right now. Maybe if he was told, "You are now the Shadow Broker, you have to do this," he could probably learn, after some time, maybe. But if it was this Nathan right now, I think he'd probably volunteer somebody else. He'd just walk away from it.
But you don't have to do things as the way the old Shadow Broker does things. I mean, you could take that information and like free it for everyone else in the world to see everything. I mean, the society will crash and it will be really bad.
Shadow Broker ever in existence, just have my information. But I don't think he'd want to do that, because like as much as he would feel like people deserve to know everything that they want to know, he also understands the Shadow Broker is there for a reason, and it's an integral part of like the galactic sphere. Like the Shadow Broker has been a power player in this galaxy from long before the humans existed in this galaxy, long before even the Krogan, even like this individual, this person, this council, whatever they have been over the millennium, have always been there. So getting rid of it, that might cause a massive power vacuum, and all of a sudden you've got all these like small, like it's like any kind of cop movie when you watch them take out like a big gang lord, all the small gangs all of a sudden become 3 or 4 times as bad because there's lots more of them trying to take all this power vacuum away, and it makes things an awful lot more dangerous for everybody involved.
I imagine Gimmick and Vito discussing who is going to become the Shadow Broker, and then Dia behind typing pressing the button or something. I'm the new Shadow Broker. All kneel in front of me. No?
No, Nidia doesn't want to be the Shadow Broker.
I think Dia wants to be seen too much.
This has been her mood today. You know that Tiffany Pollard gif where she's just like this? That's her mood this entire session. Just like that.
You're never
to be the Shadow Broker.
Dresses anymore.
Yeah, becoming a Shadow Broker means you people don't get to see your dresses anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you guys assume I need to be the Shadow Broker to get whatever information I want.
Well, Liara was in the shepherd's ship and was running things remotely.
You could. I could always just ask someone and get what I want out of them.
The shadow broker doesn't have to be a recluse. You could still be out and about. It's
Yeah.
just you just don't tell anyone that
You're the shadow broker.
you're a shadow broker. You don't tell.
Vito would be bad at that. Just so bad. Hey, Annie, I'm home.
I have a question.
He just can't light the soul.
I'd imagine that, alright. So Eric's just like, so what do you do now?
I
So-
may know some things.
I know some things.
Jesus.
The thing is,
Christ.
when you asked me if Gimmick wanted to fuse, one thing that crossed my mind was that it seemed like if Gimmick chose to fuse, Gimmick as a existence would stop existing. So that would mean that I wouldn't be playing Gimmick anymore or something like that. I was completely ready to say yes and accept the option that I couldn't be able to play him anymore. Even though, to say yes, still, even though that was a chance. So I was wondering, was it or is it still a chance like that?
So that's a very good question. So if you chose to merge,
Yeah.
you and I would have a discussion on what that means.
Okay.
Because there would be a cost to merging. So Gimmick, for all intents and purposes, would have to go through some dramatic changes. So either A, if you believe that you could role play as the character that's not quite Gimmick in personality anymore, if you felt comfortable with that, I was going to let you continue role playing as the shadow broker Gimmick.
Okay.
And if I felt that you behaved in ways that was contradictory to what I think you should be behaving, I would have had you roll like a will save.
Yeah.
And depending on how well you rolled, I'd be like, well, actually, you didn't do that. You did this instead, or you said this instead.
Yeah, like the original Gimmick and the other Gimmick will competing to see how they act.
Right.
Okay.
You would have a split personality issue, because I would have an idea of what the other Gimmick would want to behave, and if I felt you strayed away, if you strayed away from that too much, I would have asked you to roll to rein you back in.
Yeah.
So that's probably what would have happened.
It seems like an interesting option.
You and I would basically share a character, which probably is not the most fun.
No, it's still an interesting.
Yeah, that would be the cost of accepting that deal, selling your soul to your evil brother.
AKA
Yes,
And it's still an option.
still an option. You're
Well-
only going to be playing him for 3 more sessions, so
Yeah, at this point, there is only one reason why Gimmick would accept this deal.
mhm.
And let's see if that reason happens. Let's hope it doesn't happen.